All right. Oh, man, this is exciting times. Um, Mark and I. Well, I don't want to throw Mark into it. I'll make an assumption. I felt somewhat like a virgin because we're now going to be doing our first full podcast
Oh
on
yeah,
LinkedIn,
yeah,
right? So we're like LinkedIn virgins when
yeah.
it comes to the podcasting.
No,
All right, everybody. So this is so people that don't know that are going to follow us on LinkedIn. Obviously, we'll have some other followers come over from Facebook. This is the great Mark Puttenvink. He has a company called Patriot Training Systems. And I joke around with him, but he does coach and train everybody. He's been a trainer with the New York Rangers, New England Patriots, coaches a lot of military personnel, police officers, kids, whatever it is. Wise beyond his years. Wow. He has more information. Like if I can rarely find out something that he doesn't know, it's a major moment on the show.
I'm like Cliff from useless information, just loads of it. Yeah.
But not this. Like when you came up with the information, like a funeral home, for example, that was one that I was thought. You just always say the word funeral home, but we never really stopped to think, well, where does the word come from?
Yeah.
Right. So information, very good information. So we haven't done a show in a couple of weeks. We haven't done a show in a couple of weeks because of this changeover.
Yeah.
So I think is this kind of like us growing up, like getting off Facebook and like going on.
Yeah, I think Facebook. First of all, the younger generation they don't even look at Facebook anymore.
Right.
And
which is us. We're kind of in that younger generation.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
But it's nothing but political content and advertising, and maybe every once in a while you get a picture of somebody's grandkid.
Yeah, definitely. And we will be discussing many topics. We really like to focus on mental health, physical health. Mark, one of our biggest projects we got going on now is getting in, really pulling people together to help young people in need in a lot of different ways. So that's going to be a lot of stuff we talk about. And there will be some just overall useless information we spew.
Tons of it.
Yeah.
So first off, let's start with this. Okay. Goal or no goal?
For the goal last night.
It's a goal.
I know what the problem they made for themselves was they went back earlier and say there has to be conclusive evidence that went over the line. This was years ago. They came up with that statement.
Right.
And if you watch the video, so people don't know, the Montreal Tampa game went to overtime. No, I'm sorry.
Anaheim and
Edmonton went to overtime. Anaheim scored a goal where in the NHL, for people that aren't aware, the puck needs to completely cross the red line. Yeah. The camera, the goalie's skate kind of blocked the camera, so you couldn't technically see the puck across, but the shape of the puck. It doesn't take a whole lot to figure out the puck across the line.
So my first reaction is we live in a world of AI now.
Yeah.
And I did see a photograph where it outlined where the rest of the puck would be, and it was a goal.
Yeah.
But part of it too is, like, even with baseball, do we really want to remove the human element?
Oh, I agree. Totally. See, I agree with that. There's so much just talk that we need to be perfect. Hold on. We need to say hello to one of our secret agent. We'll talk to her about the shooting last night in Washington, D.C. Deb Anderson. Great to see you again. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't want perfection. Yeah. Like the players aren't perfect. Coaches aren't perfect. Why do the referees need to be perfect? Yeah.
It all evens out. Like when we talk about bad calls, but at the end of the year, it all kind of evens out. No, I understand it's Stanley Cup playoffs. It's not just a regular season game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and like just like a player will make a bad play during the game that could cost them the game. If a referee makes a call that you don't like, that's the way it works. How about the great hockey? The Tampa Montreal series is, man, that's good hockey.
How about Buffalo?
Yes.
Oof.
Spanking Boston yesterday. Yeah. It was kind of, they called it, I guess you used bittersweet. Colorado beat out LA in 4 straight.
Yeah.
They beat them out at home, beat LA in LA's home rink. So it was Anze Kopitar's last game. So it was kind of, I'm sure you don't want to go to your career that way, but it was kind of nice to be able to say goodbye to your home fans that way too. So
Yeah. And he's had a good career. He's never been a problem guy.
Yeah. They were talking about him being like first ballot Hall of Famer kind of guy. Is he that great? Yeah.
Good player, but not.
Yeah. Apparently he's a really I think part of it is too, he really carries himself well. Like apparently a really good citizen.
Yeah, I guess he's really good in the room and he's a good citizen. You know, those are great things, but that's not what gets you into the Hall of Fame.
Totally.
Part of it. But.
All right. So now here on our show, we try not to discuss politics. Yeah. What's that, sorry?
It's almost impossible not to.
Yeah. So we had a shooting last night at the correspondence dinner. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's the White House Correspondence.
White House Correspondence.
Traditionally is a very, Trump bashing event.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so there is a large portion of the country that believes it was a total setup.
This is where we're at in this country. If God forbid something bad happened, they would say, "Oh, it really happened." But because nothing horrific happened, it was staged. What would be the reason? What would be the benefit of Trump? Is it really about because he wants to build a ballroom that they would go through this whole thing just because he's saying, "Well, see, if I had my own ballroom, this wouldn't have happened." But what I don't understand, Tom, is with just a basic understanding of security, 4 blocks surrounding that building should have been shut down.
Well, see this. Okay, I'm glad you brought. This is where mine goes. Yeah. That okay, this is one of the most hated men in the world, one of the most loved men in the world by other people, but by a lot of people, one of the most hated men in the world. And you're right. A gunman was allowed to get into the same building with a shotgun, knives, and a handgun. So that's where it comes in, where people start to say, "Yeah, it was a setup. Why would they let him in?" It's the same thing when you go back to Butler, Pennsylvania, where there's a guy on the roof with a gun 20 minutes before, and they let him go up on the stage. So,
well, the flip side of that is the deep state knew about this, and they allowed it because they want Trump out.
Or did they want to make it look like poor Donald Trump's getting assassinated? He's a warrior.
Why would they keep doing it time and time again?
Because they think we're stupid.
Well, we are stupid, but beyond that, what's really, and this is not an opinion, this is a fact.
What?
You have certain people in media, and then so Jimmy Kimmel, before the event happened, I guess he was on live at the same time or something, shows a picture of Melania and says, "Expectant widow." I mean, this is really like you get to a point.
Well, but then but the problem is, though, you are totally 100% correct. That is wrong. But the problem is the president, like when Rob Reiner died or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Well, good." Right. So you are totally correct, but you can't have it both ways. Right.
But the difference, I think, Tom, is that Rob Reiner really was pretty disgusting in a lot of things he said about Trump. So the difference is Kimmel's picking on Melania and using her as a prop to make his political statement. And, it's one thing to call a guy this, that, and the other thing, but to almost celebrate his death. I don't think Trump celebrated Reiner's death like it was a good thing. He was just making a point that, in his view, the guy was not a good guy.
He said it was a good thing he was dead.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's a great example how we are so. This is what they want. They want us to be so divided, and that's So, admittedly, I have gone from being a Trump supporter to one of these people now. I'm so skeptical of everything.
As I am as well. But I just so Nora O'Donnell last night gets on 60 Minutes with Trump, right?
Yeah.
And she starts reading the manifesto like it carries any weight. It's an important document that we got to put into the Congress.
But the other people will say, "Well, why didn't you read the manifesto? If you had the manifesto, why didn't you read it?"
Who's that?
Other people will counter that and say, "You had the manifesto, why didn't you read it?"
Oh, about to Nora O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Well, see, but my response to that is, we always talk about let's not sensationalize the bad guy. Let's not make him a hero. So why does anything he thought or said or wrote matter?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but I hear what you're saying entirely, but it's like when the guy was shot by the ICE in Minnesota. Yeah. Right off the bat, he was a domestic terrorist. There was no investigation done within seconds. He's a domestic terrorist. by
Well,
Crystal.
no, so no, only
No,
just
yes, Crystal
no.
Nome.
There was video of him acting out before that.
Okay, but that's not the point. He wasn't. Okay, my point is their statement came out saying that he was a domestic terrorist.
Well, he came there with a gun, so I mean,
Yeah, we're going to
it
disagree.
walks like a duck. It's a duck.
Well, he carried a gun legally.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah.
See this? I love this because this is a clear example of exactly what they
but
want.
who goes to?
Hold on, Mark. Let me finish. Please let me finish.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a clear example of exactly what they want.
Yeah.
There is, in the same situation, two guys who are great friends like you and I can totally disagree on our view, and this is what they want us to be doing. They want us to be arguing. So we're not talking about the Epstein files. We're not talking about Ukraine. We're not talking about the bombing the school in Iran. All these different things, right? We're talking about a shooting.
Well, yeah. So in that case, one could say, and you and I have had this disagreement before about a level of threat. So if you're a federal agent or a local law enforcement and someone's carrying a gun.
Okay, I'm past that though, Mark. I'm past that though. What I'm saying is,
what I'm saying is, if he's reaching for it, what are you supposed to do?
But I'm past that whole point. We're not going to agree on that one. Yeah, that was, to me, I'm past that. I'm more saying this is exactly what they want. We're not talking about all the other issues we should be talking about right now, like we went into Venezuela, Greenland, Ukraine, Iran, bombing the school in Iran. All these different things.
So here's my response to even all of those things. I don't know. Did they really happen? Did that school really get
Totally. Yeah.
But
I mean, my point is though that we're not talking about those issues because now we moved on to the next.
Well, and 3 days from now it'll be something else.
Right. This is where the conspiracies come in because now people like me think that they're just creating new. They're just creating new.
Yeah.
There's
more disturbing things that they're not talking about, like 15 drones that were stolen in New Jersey that are they spray. So they spray fertilizer, but they could also spray a bioweapon or whatever. And that's more of a concern to me than any of this.
Oh, I know. This
is all a big play,
Yeah.
And it's a bad one, but it's all a big play.
I know. So we can go on nonstop too.
Well, did you see the difference though between some of the media people who were like, it was like a war zone, and then Dana White, that was so cool. Guys running around with guns.
And how about the one woman who's stealing the bottles of wine?
She was more than one. Yeah. And even the people that defended that were saying, well, there's always something to take home from a wedding or whatever. Yeah.
It's just the whole perception that there's shooting going on, and her concern is the bottles of wine.
So that's the other thing. I mean, they got the guy, and even that, so if you've seen the video where he goes running through and then they shoot him, how is that a choke point? If it's a wide open, I mean, none of it makes sense. But it's just hysterical how the people there were really not an imminent threat. I mean, it had been neutralized already. And they're all brave heroes this morning.
I know. I know.
It was like a war zone.
And the other one that really gets me too is when they say political violence should never be accepted. Yeah, but other violence is okay as long as it's not political violence. Yeah.
And by the way, all violence is violence. It doesn't matter what name you put on it. Yeah.
God. It's entertaining. It's what's funny with you and I? Like we're trying our best not to discuss it, and we can't help it.
You can't. That's why I try to lead off with the goal. But
I know. I'm with you. It's funny stuff. Well, it's not funny. It's kind of sad, really. But what else? Oh, I know we discussed this before. So my granddaughter Margot was born April 3rd, so my daughter-in-law Leah, who I just love to death, she's like my daughter now. Her parents were in town, so I thought, okay, I'll have plenty of time. I live about 10 minutes from them. Let her parents spend time. They're in town for about 10 days, so I stayed away. So now Leah, again, her and I being so close, Shane's now back to work. My son. So she needs a little help during later on the day. So I've stopped by Oh, the kid. Excuse me, the kid. My granddaughter. She owns me. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a grandpa speaking, right? Okay. So we have to take this with a grain of salt. So I'm sure the same as you. You've learned, especially after having your own kids, when a baby's crying, the worst thing you can do is get upset, right? They feed off
your cry.
Yeah, they feed off your energy. So we try to relax, take deep breaths. So I'm talking to her slowly. I'm saying, "Hi, sweetie, you're good. You're clean. You've been fed." I'm talking softly. I said, "Let's take some deep breaths." So I take a deep breath. Now, again, this is Grandpa speaking. Okay, so take it with a grain. So she takes a deep breath. Now, could have been a total coincidence, but
or not.
Yeah, I know. And then she looks up at me and smiles. Again.
And what's that worth? Millions.
Right? Oh God. Oh, crush me. I would I can't. I'm going over there today and I can't wait to get up.
Big tough Tom Laidlaw.
Oh God. Oh, unbelievable. I know and you're, well, just so people know, Mark is going to be a grandfather in August.
August. Yeah.
August. So we've discussed this quite a bit. So it's a great experience.
So Nathan's older son, Andrew, is out here now.
So people don't know Nathan. We're talking about Nathan is Nathan Perrott, former NHL player. The reason, so just to set it up, sorry, Mark, to interrupt you, but Mark is out in Sandy, Utah, working at a hockey camp or hockey program that Nathan Perrott helped put together. So that's the background story there.
So his son came out with his wife because his son plays for Rockford, Chicago's American League team, and his wife's pregnant.
Right.
And so she's on ice with me. We have a new program, a girls program, and she played collegiately. She could really skate too, but she's pregnant.
How many months pregnant?
She's due the same time my son's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, August 5th.
Yeah.
So I said, her name's Gracie. I said, Gracie, technically, every time you're skating with the puck, it's a 2-on-1.
Now, if it's a girl, it's actually
a boy. I know it's a boy.
Oh, it's a boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I've already talked to them because Sean, my son's having a girl, so get them together. Yeah.
And I know you know this, but when it's a girl, it's actually be a 3-on-1 because the next child will be in the baby's mother's groups. Yeah. So, oh, what an experience! So, I did not anticipate the feelings I would have.
Well, it's like when we had our kids, we didn't anticipate how much impact that would have.
God,
it's tremendous. Yeah.
Well, I think now, again, the male ego, I have it in my head that I'm the great communicator with the baby, right? I'm the baby talker. She can hear it. She can understand me. So now it's like, yeah, totally. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
She's in charge, really. But
now, were you disappointed it was a girl?
Actually, you know what? I didn't really care. Healthy, obviously, like everybody want to be healthy. It's a great question. I don't think I really thought about it that much, but now that it's a girl, I realized, man, it is a different feeling.
You had 2 boys, I had 2 boys. So it's going to be a new experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh God, unbelievable. Big tough guys, right? We're the big tough guys. Yeah. Melted. My little, a 9-pound little baby.
Just take over your whole world.
Yeah, definitely. What, Sean's doing well.
But they'll both be playing girls hockey in about 6 years. So
that's my plan. Shane. What? Go ahead.
I was going to say, you and I have talked about this. I've never really coached girls. Right?
Oh, fantastic!
And so my last couple practices here, I've been working with the girls. So different.
Like
they're happy.
Oh yeah.
And they could all skate. Where they lack is shooting the puck. It's an issue for them. But even with that, if you just show them a few things, they pay attention.
Oh God,
they're doing it.
And they're so thankful. Like you're helping them. They say thank you and everything. And we were little boys once ourselves. When you're a little boy playing hockey, you're not thinking of anything. Yeah, definitely. What else is going on in the world other than all the nonsense? I'm trying to think of some good stuff.
Beth ran her half marathon here Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she said it was a really good run. She thought it was going to be a lot more hilly.
Right.
So she feels she could have done better with her time because she kind of held back. Because I've never run anything like that. But she said she saves her energy for the last mile.
Right.
And she felt like she could have really. So she's probably going to come back next year and do it again.
Is there an elevation issue there? Are you guys is it like Colorado? You're not that high, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
where we live, we're at about 4,600 feet.
Oh,
But if you go literally 10 minutes from here up the hill, it goes quickly up to 8,500 feet.
oh, okay.
So it may be like drizzling here, and 10 minutes away, they're getting 3 feet of snow.
Okay, that's a good topic. So in the NHL, a lot of sports, we'll talk about the NHL. Teams go in and play in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I guess, so do you believe then that the home team, Colorado, is used to the elevation issue?
Yeah. So definitely a difference. I would say it's a third period difference, where it starts to hit you. I spoke to a kid out here who played collegiately in Wyoming at elevation, Division I basketball. And, they'd go play like another Division I school and get smoked because it's not a strong program. But they'd come out here, they'd be losing by 30 points in the first half, and they'd end up either coming close or winning in the second half. That's when it really showed up. It's more about your recovery.
Do you think something you can do about that to prepare for that, the elevation change?
Well, you have to train at elevation, which I don't know how long it takes to adjust. But conversely, like when we go back east, it'll start to come back down to where it was.
Right.
Like so best conditioning or recovery. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
It's a factor for sure. Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember. Well, you probably remember. So in the NHL, when we would go on a road trip, so here in New York, we go east. Now there's always the time change to deal with, so it's somewhat of a factor. But it seemed like it was worse coming home from the west to the east. What's the rationale there?
I don't know. You know who would know is Duffy.
That's right.
But yeah, I don't know. And I was thinking about just drive home now. We're going to go across the country, drive home, and it's going to be time changes and how it's going to affect how we feel. It's going to be interesting. Right. Yeah.
Do you think I actually have a friend of mine flying to a country, Timor-Leste. I can't remember the name of it. Some small little country that just formed like 20 years ago.
Where?
It's about $1 million, just north of Australia.
Oh, okay.
So you got to cross the international date line, all that kinds of stuff. And do you think, is it just, there really isn't much you could do about the time change and adjusting to it? You just have to do it.
They've been studying for years, and particularly Vancouver. Brian had sent me a book. They actually employed a sleep coach to deal with their jet lag, being in Vancouver and having to fly everywhere.
Sure.
I just don't think there's much you can do about it, except stay hydrated and all those kind of normal things that you would do anyhow.
Yeah.
Physiologically, and it's just something you can't overcome, I don't think. Yeah. But so you and I have talked about back to back, right? So like, let's say you play in New York tonight, but then tomorrow you play in Boston. How different is that than playing in New York tonight and playing in St. Louis tomorrow night? Yeah,
because of the time change. Yeah. And how much of that, like if nobody told you that there was a difference, would you really?
You would just think I feel sluggish,
Yeah.
You would just think, that there's another reason. And like you said, a lot of guys will use it as an excuse why they didn't play. But hockey being as quick as a game as it can be in terms of changing momentum. Again, maybe that jet lag doesn't show up until the third period, but you do something you normally wouldn't do, right?
Yeah.
And then you end up pucks in the net or whatever. Yeah.
So did you see the Philadelphia-Pittsburgh series at all? You watched that?
Yeah. I was surprised by it.
Yeah. So not the last game, I think the game before. Remember Crosby kind of took the dive, pretending he got hit?
Embellishment, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he's, really come a long way from where that used to be. It's a pretty common thing with him.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so people that don't know, so just a brief history. Sidney Crosby is in his 20th year and has become not just a great player, but a really respected leader and everything. When he first started, like a lot of young players, Wayne Gretzky was the same way, was always whining at his referees and acting like, like a young, 19-year-old hockey player. Now he's become, again, the opposite of that. So a face-off was about to happen. He's bent over. A Philadelphia player, it was kind of weird, like the way he was skating away from the face-off and kind of flipped his stick. It's like he knew he was at least going to be in Crosby's face anyways. Right. And it clipped Crosby in the face. Now he's got a face shield on. No damage was done. but Crosby now takes the big dive on the ice. So one side of you says, well, he's doing it because he's making sure the guy gets the penalty.
Right.
What happened was, the guy got called on the penalty, but Crosby also got a penalty for embellishment, which is a rule in the NHL where you're kind of like you're faking to draw a penalty.
Do you like that rule?
You know what is funny? Some people say, how can you have both?
Yeah.
If a guy interferes, hooks me,
or trips or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you can't have both. I think if a guy is hooking me, he's hooking me, and it's a penalty. Right. Now, if I then exaggerate that and fall down, that's embellishment.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who think the argument is, well, you can't have both. Either you got hooked or you didn't.
Well, if I got a penalty for embellishment, I would just say, do your job, and I won't have to.
Yeah.
To the ref.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's
kind of a weird kind of whole thing. Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of, especially with a player like Crosby, technically it shouldn't be this way, but hasn't he earned the right? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Like as a referee, you're going, okay, that's Sidney Crosby. I mean, okay, yeah, technically, but yeah.
Did you see that sucker punch in Ottawa? I mean, that is so cheap. That guy.
So Ottawa was playing. They got beat out by Carolina.
Yeah.
I had 4 games straight. So the last game was in Ottawa. A big scrum going on. 2 players had squared off. A third player, Ottawa player, skating around, sucker punched a guy that was being held by one of his team. And that's like in the hockey world, there's a lot of nasty stuff goes on, but that's just cheap. That's
just cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy should have a target for a while.
Yeah. So he's and he will be getting a suspension. The league has said that it usually doesn't happen like that. Rarely do they have a suspension or potential suspension going into the next season after. So, okay, here's a question for you. I have been a huge supporter, a big fan of Brady Tkachuk, who's the captain of the Ottawa Senators.
Me too.
I kind of have we lost? Is you think you like it still?
Yeah, I mean he had a bad series.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you look at the total body of his work, I think this doesn't negate all he can do for you. And also, you know, it's who you're playing with, right? I mean, you can't have, you know, Kenny told me, and I think you'd agree that to win now, you got to have 2 guys. You got to have Crosby and Malkin, or Crosby and Patrick. You can't have just one guy, and Tkachuk's really the one guy, you know.
Yeah.
You need 2 to really move along in the playoffs. I think it's a good point.
Did you see Columbus used to have Nick Delorier on their team, tough guy.
Yeah.
And then he got traded to
Philly, right?
No, he's in he's in Carolina now.
Carolina, that's right.
So they had him walking in, they showed the players walking in before the game, the street closed on. And Paul Biznat was funny on TV. What he made them because they're always trying to analyze stuff, and he picks out some really strange stuff. So he goes, let's go back and look at this Delorier, because he looked like, what did he call him? Looked like he was a Volkswagen, like he just jacked.
Oh,
and
big dude, yeah.
They showed a picture of him without a shirt on. I'm assuming it was him. And he was clearly there. He hadn't played the whole series, so he was there to make sure that nothing was going to happen. Man, he was jacked. He was funny. He was joking because he put the Vaseline all over his face, which you're aware of in the boxing world, right?
Yeah.
Nicky Fotiu used to do that when we played with the Rangers.
Really?
Oh, he had the Vaseline, but he had it on like an inch thick.
Right.
Yeah. I think what it would do more, it would scare the other team more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're thinking, who puts Vaseline on their face?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. So it reminded me, because when in the 80s, when players first started wearing the face shields, the masks that are plastic, I'm pretty sure it was Carol Vadnais taught us to put Vaseline on the outside of our gloves.
Wow.
And then rub the glove in the guy's face. You couldn't get the Vaseline. So they would either have to take the mask off. So now you do it to one of the best players who's wearing the shield. So now you lose
because they got to replace it. Yeah. I think the visor ruined the game in a lot of ways.
It did. And I don't know how many injuries it really stops.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was my next point. I don't know
Yeah.
because first the guys wear it up here anyway.
Yeah. So people that aren't aware, in the NHL, it used to be your face was. There used to be no helmets, but then there had helmets. Then there was no shield. Your face was wide open. So now they have this mask that's a plastic, clear plastic. So the idea is now some guys will have it close to the face, so it will protect your eyes. But most guys are wearing it because they're probably the girlfriend or the wife tells them to wear it, and because it's not mandatory to wear it.
I think it is mandatory now, right? Isn't it?
Is it mandatory now?
I think
But
it is.
But Kachuk doesn't wear it, right? Does he wear it?
I'm trying to remember now.
I'm trying to think of the guys who
think
don't.
It was. Where's Susan Brooks? We need help.
I know. Hold on. Actually, I think she sent me a text just now too.
I mean, how do you fight? I mean, your hand just gets.
I know.
Shredded.
I know. Yeah, it certainly changed the game. Yeah.
I mean, the helmets too. I mean, who was it? Was it Kelly Chase or someone used to put like, you know how the old winning helmets? Remember they had that big like piece here.
Yeah.
He like shaved like so it was all gnarly. Like if you hit it with your hand, it would all chewed up. Yeah.
Oh, funny stuff. Okay. Oh, Edmonton's down in their series 3-1 now.
Yeah, it's
Anaheim.
good.
Okay, so people are not aware. Connor McDavid, arguably the best, but not much of it, best player in the world right now.
Will he be an RFA or a UFA?
He's got he signed that contract, so he's got a 2-year. He signed a new contract,
Oh,
which extended at the start of the year. So Connor McDavid in Edmonton went to the finals the last 2 years and lost. Best play should have won in most cases. A great player that should have won a few cups by now. I think he's played like 8-10 years now. He's played. Signed a huge discount of a contract. Probably could have gotten $20 million a year on a long-term deal. Signed a 2-year deal at $12.5 million a year because you want to stay in Edmonton and try to win a cup. So if they now lose in the first round, you have heard it here first.
Yeah,
he will be traded this summer.
Yeah, where do you think he goes? I think. What about Detroit?
Okay, so he's going to be. So he'll have a lot. Well, he'll be in total control where he goes. He'll want to go if he's going to leave Edmonton. It's because he wants to win.
Right.
He's going to make his money no matter what. Then for the next 2 years, he's on this contract. So the advantage for any team that picks him up knows normally you're getting a player like that late in a contract. So you may only have him for a few months or a year. You're going to pick up the best player in the world for 2 years at a huge discount.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a ton for him. So it's got to be a team that can win and a team that has enough assets to give to Edmonton
And still win.
for them to make the trade. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So my first team now you got to factor in dollars and cents too.
Yeah.
So teams without state tax.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you got Dallas, Nashville, Florida, Tampa.
Florida. Yeah.
So
Nashville, right?
Nashville.
Yeah.
But okay, so who can now? If you're Connor McDavid, you think, okay, anywhere I go, I've improved their chances of winning. Obviously.
Yeah.
Man, the team I would want to go to is Dallas.
Yeah.
But then they're going to have to give up some of their young, good players.
And then can you still win?
Yeah.
The problem because
And you figure, okay, so part of the issue has been goaltending with Edmonton. But in fairness, if you're unless you're Marty Brodeur, who you knew, and when I mentioned Marty Brodeur, not just because of how great he was, but because of his mentality, never gets rattled, calm, composed the whole time. So if you're a goalie in Edmonton, the last 2 years, Edmonton has gone to the finals, and if they had better goaltending, I think I know we talked about this, they would have won the cup probably in the last 2 years. So now they trade for a goaltender during the year. Everybody knows that everybody's looking at the goaltending as the reason either they win or lose.
So here's the thing about the goaltending. There's been some talk about the fact that there's been a lot of teams that have won a cup with a mediocre goaltender.
Yep.
Right. I mean, then you look at the contract Swayman got, and he got blasted yesterday. Well, actually, he didn't play all that bad. But the point is that they're not winning with him.
Yep.
So, goaltending's such a hit or miss thing. Like
it is. So Bobrovsky for Florida, you could argue the other way. But to your point, though, Mark, you're right. And the team's got to play good defense.
Right. Yeah.
Colorado's got Wedgwood. Is it Wedgwood?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think
Right.
so.
And wasn't he in New Jersey for a while too?
He was.
He's been around.
I believe he was. Yeah.
So he's not like a
Yeah,
stud.
German kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a good goaltender.
Good goaltender,
But
professional.
you're saying, okay, we don't want to waste a whole bunch of our cap dollars on paying a goaltender $12 million a year. We're going to pay a goalie $6 million a year, $7 million a year, and we just need a good enough goaltender to
It's
win.
a position that it could be long term, or
Right.
it could be where they have a year or two that they're playing really well, and then all of a sudden it just disappears. You know, the game
Yeah.
goes. It's like pitching in baseball, right?
Yeah.
Remember Mark Fidrich?
Yeah, the Bird, isn't he the Bird?
I mean, yeah, the bird. He's talked to the ball, man.
Yeah.
But he was the greatest thing on the planet, and then like 2 years later, he was out of baseball.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of baseball, the New York Mets. Woo,
Why is it my teams? I mean, they've already like the Jets are already eliminated. The season hasn't even begun. The NFL said, "No, you guys aren't in the playoffs again."
who they picked second overall in the draft, right?
Yeah.
Who is the guy supposedly good that they got?
Well, he's fast. Yeah, man. He's
Right.
a tight end. But yeah, and it's Geno Smith.
I know. Back to Geno Smith as a quarterback now.
You know,
So Mark's teams are the Jets,
oh,
Mets, Rangers,
right, yeah.
and basketball's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Knicks fan when I was a kid, but I don't really follow it.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was a kid, like when Larry Bird was playing and all those guys, I loved that. Michael Jordan.
There's a really interesting documentary on Amazon, Paramount, I think it's
Right.
Paramount, about the ABA.
Oh,
It's really interesting. And so the NBA, I'll put it right out there, was very, very white.
The NBA was
At
white.
that time. Yeah, it was really white league, right? So that aside, but the ABA just said, we don't care what color you want. So they had Dr. J, David Thompson. They had some really great players that, you know, and they flourished with kind of like a no rules, just play. I mean, they invented the 3-point play.
Right.
That was not in the NBA. That was an ABA creation
right.
because they had really good marketing. But in any event, it's a pretty good. It's really interesting. Yeah. And some of the names come back. Artis Gilmore, I don't know if you remember him.
That's true. I think like the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird, Kurt Rambis.
Well, no, even before that, it was like John
Oh.
Havlicek, and it was a very Dave Cowan.
Oh, so the NBA was more of a white player.
I'll give you a perfect example. There was another documentary I watched on a ball player out of LA, really talented, incredibly talented. They say he may have been even better than some of the names we talk about now. Right? But he was drafted by Philadelphia 76ers, and they had drafted Doug Collins, who was a white guy from, I think he played Illinois or somewhere. And the black guy had a better camp. And they gave Collins a 4-year deal for $1 million, which was a lot of money back then, $250 a year. They gave him like $50K.
Oh,
So there was a lot of that going on, you know, where they, yeah. But it's really interesting because the NBA that we see today and the LeBrons, and they all have to really go back and thank those guys.
sure. Yeah.
Jays and David Tom, that kind of went to the other league to make the NBA aware, well, you know, we just got to go with the best talent. Doesn't matter what color.
Yeah, I haven't really followed NBA. That's in years. Yeah, it's just a whole different. It seems like it's more of a it's a 3-point league, right? It's like throw the 3-pointer up and.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, guys are tremendous athletes. I mean,
Right.
I went to a game courtside, it was years ago, and you just look at how big they are and how athletic they are. It's incredible. Yeah. But I mean,
Have you-
professional sports in general, I don't really follow. I mean,
I
baseball.
know.
I couldn't name you 3 Mets.
I know. Are you a Nikki Glazer fan? Like the woman that does all the roasts and everything? You familiar with her?
She's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. She.
she's a blonde girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been coming on talking about her sexual preferences lately for some reason.
Well, that's, you know,
Yeah.
it is.
Very interesting. Apparently, she likes watching her husband with other women.
Well, probably not the first one, but at least it's not Rex Ryan with the feet. Remember that?
I guess we understand it. It's marketing. But think about it. Okay, so I'm going to go publicly and I'm going to discuss with other people that I don't know my
Yeah.
sexual preferences.
And who knows if it's true?
Right. Correct. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's manufacturing. Huh. Ah,
It's the lowest common denominator.
I
Sometimes.
guess so. Yeah. But okay. Here's one I want to touch on. Mike Vrabel, coach of the New England
Who
Patriots.
cares? Yeah, why is this
I
such
know.
a big deal?
Great point. Okay, so
They
just
drafted a marriage counselor, second round.
but just for people, unless you've been living under a rock,
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel, a very successful coach. People love him as a coach. New England Patriots. Was it his first year this past year? And they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think they. Yeah, yeah.
And this Diana Marcini or something
Something
like that.
like that.
So a cute reporter with the
Oh,
Atlantic. Very, supposedly she's very tied in with the NFL, a lot of scoops and everything.
Oh, I guess she is now.
Right. So it came out initially. There's some pictures taken about a month ago that could be explained as somewhat innocent. The
Right.
two of them greeting with a special handshake and hanging out by the pool. So
Pool's always a problem.
yeah, yes, just you're basically wearing your underwear. I mean,
That's what I mean, yeah.
okay, so then and then they felt necessary to make comments saying, "Oh, this is just ridiculous that you're saying this." I said, "Just shut up, don't say more." So now, of course, and this is a pattern, right? So the denial now leads to more people doing more work on it instead of just keeping their mouth shut, don't say anything. Now they find more pictures now of them sitting at a bar together.
Wasn't there a female reporter who was kind of jealous and kind of?
Yes. Yeah. So there's so now it becomes, and then he makes the announcement that he's going to miss the third day of the draft because he's getting treatment.
Right.
Jesus. Why don't you just put a big sign on your forehead saying, "Look, and come and stab me in the back"?
Yeah, even Beth, who doesn't follow sports at all, really, said, "How is this a story? Who cares?"
Oh, but it's almost like they made it into a story themselves by keeping on talking about it. Like they made it, they kept going with it.
Well, he's probably trying to cover his ass with his wife.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to cover your ass with your wife, that's fine.
It.
Yeah, but at the same, but if apparently it's gone on for like 5 or 6 years, so you've been screwing around. Your wife's going to find out you're the head coach of the New England Patriots. It's now become public that you've had this little girlfriend. Now the worst part is she's married as well.
Yeah,
and she had a child.
Yeah,
that she called Mike. Mike Vrabel is the coach she's having.
Correct. Well, you heard the Steve Nash story, right?
No.
Wife gave birth.
Steve Nash, the basketball player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Gave birth.
Yeah.
African-American baby.
Oh.
Yeah. His best friend on the team.
Oh, God.
That's a hard one. Well, that's what she said, but.
So people know, too, Steve Nash is a white Canadian, actually.
Yeah. Pretty good skater.
What's that?
Pretty good skater.
Yeah, good skater. He's cousins or relatives of some other NHL player.
Another athlete, right?
Yeah. Imagine when the baby comes out a different color.
Wow. That's a tough one to explain away.
This is terrible. Okay, so let's paint the picture. Joy, excitement. We've all been through it. The baby's being born. You're excited. This child's coming into the world. You've waited for 9 months. You and your wife have created this magnificent being together. It's a joyous bonding moment.
Right.
And the baby comes out. They're both white, and the baby comes out black.
Yeah. That's a tough one to explain.
So
they were divorced. Yeah.
That's terrible. I mean, when the mother looks down and then looks at the husband, what do you say?
As a player, how do you go back in a locker room? Everybody knows what happened, right?
That's terrible.
And then if you're a teammate, what do you say to them? Hey, man, I'm sorry.
Like the kid's gonna. Oh, it's terrible. It is. It's. I shouldn't be laughing about it, but the flip side, it's
messed up. Yeah,
that's bad. Oh man. Okay, and we are joking from the funny side, but yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, that's a hard one. But the thing is, man, it's like players and wives and stuff. There's some stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Your teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've never, and I think we've touched on this subject too. So a teammate messing around with a teammate's wife.
You know stories. I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're a professional athlete making lots of money. There's plenty of other women you could date.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Like, don't be so lazy. Leave the locker room. Go to a bar.
Don't be so lazy.
Yeah.
It's very true. It's just lazy. It's laziness.
You know, we were talking about a goaltender before. Like, leave the kitchen at least on a holiday.
Stay away from the family vacations. Oh God, that's terrible. Some of the stories too. Like if we could line up all the stories about all the
you played with a guy.
ones that we
I
know.
won't mention his name.
Oh God.
Right, Richie.
Oh yeah. Oh,
we'll stop there.
Yeah, just in the hockey world. Imagine if you pile up all the football and basketball and baseball players.
By the way, you had mentioned Steve Webb had watched you last week or whatever.
Yeah.
Kevin Colley, who I coach with here, is real. They're really good friends.
Oh, okay, very cool.
They played together in Bridgeport when they were both in the Islander system. Yeah.
Right.
So
Steve Webb, people don't know, is a longtime New York Islander. I think he played his whole career with the Islanders, right?
I think he did. He was a tough kid, right?
Yes, he was.
Very tough kid.
And I say this as a total compliment. I love the guy. He's one of those guys that made it on pure will and heart.
Well, so Kevin Colley is the similar story. And Kevin used to say he was my mentor. I asked him every day, what did you do? How did you get there? You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
Very cool. Stevie Webb.
So those fourth line guys, I mean.
Well, back then especially, man, it was. Whew. So back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, yeah, it was. So the fourth line guys were pretty made up of specialty players, usually just guys that are there to fight.
Right?
Yeah. So they sit on the bench for, like most players will play, a really good player in the NHL, a defenseman will play 25 minutes and above. A really good forward will play 20 minutes and above. Those guys in the fourth line play 3 minutes. So it's so hard to get into the game. You're sitting there, you're totally out of the game whatsoever. Coach comes over, you see what's going on the ice. Somebody's starting trouble. Coach taps you on the back. Now you got to go out there and either get beat up or beat up somebody else, man.
And the old joke was, get to the game. Don't miss the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Brant Myers, remember Brant?
Yeah.
He would say to me, "Make sure you get there early. There's,
yeah,
I'm not being there too long.
You're not going to see too much of me."
Yeah.
Oh, that's a terrible feling. That's a terrible feeling for a player where you got to sit in the bench and then the coach taps you on the shoulder and
you got to go fight some monster.
Oh,
like
God.
every night.
Yeah,
it's the hardest job in professional sports, I think. I really do.
Yeah. Psychologically, yes. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Because every fighter I've known in hockey, like, okay, I'm going up to see Dave Brown laying in bed, like,
God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really. That was the part for me. Like when I first came up, I could fight. I was tough enough. Yeah. It wasn't being tough enough. It was being just to do it, wanting to do it every night.
Answering the bell.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. It's like, okay, get in a fight, you do okay. And then 2 minutes later, the worst part is once you prove yourself as a fighter, all the fighters want to fight you, right? Because they need to keep their job. So,
especially guys that are coming up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times in training camp that you experienced or other guys, like a kid will come up and say, "Will you fight me? I gotta, one thing to see me." Yeah.
We were this kid. We were playing against Toronto. I didn't need Toronto, and I think I've probably like a 6th or 7th year in the league or something. And this kid was a tough kid, and I was bad. I was picking on him a little bit. He was in front of the net, so I'm cross-checking him in the back, trying to suck him into taking a penalty.
Yeah. And
he's losing his mind. And after it was all done, I said, "Kid, listen, a guy like me isn't going to fight you." Like I was trying to help him afterwards.
Right.
And he was actually kind of cool about it because I said, "Listen, it just you got to pick your spots and who you're doing it with." Right. I mean, so yeah.
I watched. It just came up on my YouTube. Gary Howitt and Dave Schultz fight.
Oh,
and Gary Howitt was he 160
pounds?
Oh
God, that was a big size difference there. Yeah,
but he was a pretty tough kid.
Yeah. Our veteran, a beautiful veteran there in Chicago, William Haynes. Have you ever fought someone with a shield on? Jeez, I don't think I had back then.
I think they would just get.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now. The last guy not to wear a helmet was Craig McTavish.
Yep, I think so. Yep. Yeah, you back then the fighters would it was really frowned upon to wear a shield. In fact, once guys started to wear the shields, if they were fighting, most guys would take their helmets off
Correct. Yeah.
to fight. In fact, I think it became a rule there for a while that you couldn't fight with a shield on.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is our beautiful Barry Shelley up in Cooperstown, New York.
Yeah. They were down in Dallas this weekend. They won their national championship again. This is the second one in 3 years. I think they won.
So New Jersey Warriors, Mark played a huge role, or basically started that program. It's a program throughout the country for veterans to get together and play hockey.
Yeah, I started the one in New Jersey, not across.
Yep. Right. So Mark started the one in New Jersey, and our buddy Ted runs it now. Ted Kirk.
Yeah, he's running it. Yeah. So yeah, it's great. I mean, it's always fun to win. Right?
Yeah. Our buddy Ted Curtin too is a magical man. His beautiful wife. Well, I haven't met her yet. I think she's a beautiful wife. She works in construction, actually.
Yeah, she works for OSHA.
OSHA.
So she inspects, construction sites. So you got to be a pretty brave woman to walk on a construction site.
Yeah. Do you think they got lazy on that one too? They couldn't say ocean; they just said OSHA.
Well, it stands for Occupational Safety Hazard something. Yeah.
They could have put the N on the end there. They said nice or something like that.
They couldn't spell. That's the problem.
Is that what it is? Yeah, kind of laziness.
Lazy.
What is there's the American Association of AAPI? What is that? I looked it up.
Oh, it's Asian. Something.
Asian. I'm going to an event in a couple of weeks. Asian American and
Pacific Islander.
Yes.
So that'd be like, I'm going to guess like obviously Hawaii, but I think also isn't territories? I think.
Yeah.
Micronesia and some of the smaller islands, I think are American.
For some reason, if I was to pick all the nationalities and whatever you want to call it, for some reason, the Asian culture to me just fascinates me.
It's it's very old.
Yeah. And there's all these customs and yeah.
Yeah. And, you look at Japan, it's a very homogeneous society. They don't let anybody live there unless you're Japanese. So it enables them to really hold fast to their traditions.
Right.
Centuries.
One of the most fascinating leaders of any country that I've studied is this Lee Kuan Yew, who but basically built up Singapore. And he does some fantastic interviews. And he talked about the difference between China and the United States and how United States, we fight relatively compared to China, relatively young country, right? Yeah. Fought some wars with China. And he said it was interesting the way, and I probably won't do it. I know I won't do it justice, but he really talked about the difference in the family dynamic of the culture of the country. Yeah. And because China had been through so much together, they were forced to they bound themselves together as a family. And that's one of the, well, you could say advantages or disadvantages they had, but it was very interesting to still talk. So,
even if you look at martial arts, Kung Fu is from China, basically. Japan is Jiu-Jitsu and things of that, Judo.
Right.
But it's all about honor. It's all about respect.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it. And I have a friend of mine, he was living in Los Angeles. He married a girl that was from Tokyo. And his first time when they went to visit her parents, they were in a park. And this is when people have video cameras, and they went to walk. And he said, well, what are we going to do with the camera? She said, what are you talking about? Well, can't just leave it there. She said, why not? Oh. Because if someone steals something and they're caught, even as far back as their dead relatives are shamed. There's that honor code. They just, doesn't happen.
Yeah. One of the most disturbing things I've seen on videos lately, and maybe just because it's on videos, it seems like there's a trend justifying men hitting women.
There's no justification at all for that.
But are you seeing that as much as it seems like that's more the man. It's just like, yeah, but they're trying to say the quote they keep saying is equal rights, equal fights.
That's ridiculous. I mean, so we seem to be going away from common sense anymore.
Oh, I know.
And common sense and everything tells you don't lay hands on a woman. You don't lay hands on anybody.
I know.
Ever. Unless,
But my
So,
fear is like, and again, it maybe just me because of the algorithms. When I'm watching these things, I'm thinking it's being promoted that it's okay. So now other young men are seeing it, saying, "Oh, I guess it's okay for me to hit this woman." It seems like that's kind of a trend.
they better pray they don't see me doing it.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Like that's as a man, that's just embarrassing. Like hitting a
No,
woman.
it's just wrong.
Yeah,
There's no justification for it. You know, biologically, men are supposed to protect,
yeah,
right? You know, and if you think about it, you want to protect women because you want the species to continue. It's all part of biology.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
also just what's right. Years ago, I think I might have told you this story. I was at a July 4th party with the kids were little, right? And it was a young girl, and she kept looking at me. I go, she's only human.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah. So anyway, she came up and said, "Do I know you?" I said, "Well, I'm a lot older than you. So did you grow up in town?" We got to talking. I think I might have known her older brother. And then a little while later, or quite a bit later, I realized that was a girl that my buddy and I were leaving the local town bar or whatever, and a guy had her up outside by the throat. And I grabbed the dude, and my friend got the girl in the car. But she remembered all those years later. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, some scary stuff going on. But we need to stay positive there, young man.
Yeah. I mean,
There's a lot of great things going on in the world.
well, it's an exciting time for us because it's the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Totally.
and they're pretty, like part of me says you miss the old days, right?
Yeah.
Where you had to fight for every inch,
Yeah.
especially when it was a red line, right?
Well, I got the one thing that I think the winning teams have mastered, as much as you want to play hard, and the winning teams in the past, you could go punch them in the face, and they wouldn't retaliate. Now they may get you back next year.
Next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
So that's what I see. Like that, the problem I saw, like with the Ottawa series, is like that immediate reaction to get back at the guy.
You know why? Because there's no price to pay anymore.
Yeah.
There's no Nickies. There's no Dave Semenko. There's no,
Yeah.
you know what? Guys
Yeah.
can run around and be an idiot. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Matt Cook? And I'm going back, but do you think he would have survived when you played?
Oh God, no. No.
Was he-
Yeah, so Matt Cook was a player that became famous. He was actually a pretty good player. Became famous in the NHL for cheap shot. Well, at the time, it really wasn't even necessarily a cheap shot. The hitting to the head was
Right.
kind of allowed back then.
Yeah.
But he really hurt guys. Like he went out trying to hurt guys. Back in the 70s and 80s, the game was different. The players really policed the game a lot more. They didn't wait for a referee. And most guys wouldn't do that kind of stuff because they knew that Dave Semenko or these guys would be jumping over the boards and they were going to beat the crap out of you. So,
Well,
yeah.
do you remember Archie Henderson?
Yeah.
So, a buddy of mine played with him in the American League up in Maine. This is a zillion year Maine Mariners. And I guess it was a kid running around. I don't know who it was on the other team. And he's coming up the ice with the puck, and Archie just stands up and leans over the boards and says, "Slow down." And the kid just stops.
Archie. I remember playing a game my first year, and Washington had a tough team. Archie Henderson was there.
Mike
Brent
Larson
Mulvey, one of the Mulvey brothers was there.
Paul Mulvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was and they were so big. I remember because I was supposed to be a bigger guy, so I was supposed to be taking on these guys, and I'm thinking, and they just kept coming at you, and I was like, my God, it was just
6'6" or something.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Buzniak, do you know Buzzy?
Yeah, sure.
So he must have played a year over in Europe, and he came back in the American League.
Right.
And he lines up against Archie, and Archie says, "Man, am I happy you're back?" He goes, "Why?" Because now I'm not the ugliest guy in the league anymore.
That's pretty good. The all-time, we've talked about this before, Gary Risling had to be the all-time ugliest guy.
Man.
Oh,
That's a famous picture. I mean,
oh God.
right? That profile picture of him.
So, and you know what? It's funny because he was, as much as they
That kind
hated
of
him,
player, right?
he was a small little, he would take on anybody. He
Yeah.
wasn't very good, but he would take on anybody. Actually, I got to be buddies with him. He was playing for Pittsburgh, had just been called up. So he was staying in the hotel, same place we were.
Right.
We were in town, and the hotel, you'd walk from the rink to the hotel.
Yeah.
So after the game, I was walking by myself. He happened to be walking by himself, and we'd gone at it during the game, yapping at each other, whatever. But he's one of the nicest guys in the world. By the time we walked back to the hotel, we're like best friends. Now, went out for the next game, and it was the same thing. We were trying to kill
You
each
got to
other.
do your
but-
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to do your job.
So-
That was the old Mellon Arena. I tried,
Yeah.
like, I had to kill some time. I was trying to run the stairs there one day, and you go up, and there's a wall, there's a wall, there's a wall. Yeah.
It was actually called the Igloo back then.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Igloo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a guy that used to work for who makes Chips Ahoy cookies? Nestle's.
I think so. Yeah.
So a guy there, one of the trainer that would take care of the visiting team, worked for Nestle. So he would come in with a bag of Chips Ahoy cookies all the time. Oh, I think he knew what he was doing because Chips Ahoy cookies all sugar and everything. Right? It's just gonna kill you.
Good sugar crash going.
Oh yeah, but man, I love crushing those Chips
Some
Ahoy.
of those old barns were cool, though, man.
What's that? Sorry.
Some of the old arenas were really cool.
Oh yeah. St. Louis, the Checker Dome was like that. Yeah. Exciting time on Saturday. No, Sunday. So I've been using Instacart instead of going to Costco a lot of times.
Right.
So I went to Costco on Sunday. Oh, I don't know what it is. It's heaven.
What was the reception? Because you were like a celebrity there. Like,
Well, this is part of it. The people working there were coming up. Where have you been? They're hugging me and everything. Honest to God, I got teary-eyed. I haven't been there like 2 years, and these people are running up. Where you been?
So there's a guy I met. He was on a show called Fit to Fat. So what it was, like the trainer would be really fit. He'd have an obese person to train. But what he would do is he'd gain the same amount of weight, and then they would train together and have the weight come down.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's probably not the healthiest thing.
Yeah.
He was telling me he was ordering so much Domino's that when he finally stopped and the training process began, they were sending emails like, "Where are you? You okay?"
The worst is, and I went through this too, and I'm not proud of this, especially during the pandemic. You walk into a liquor store, they start saying, "Hey, where you been?" You think,
and,
okay.
And the other difference was, you go in with a mask on, and you hand them money instead of taking money from them during the pandemic.
Oh God, funny stuff.
Imagine the way they just snowball us. We all okay, fine.
I know.
Arrows in the grocery store. You got to go this way.
Oh, okay. We want to start. Like, I've had time to reflect. Like I know. If you really want to get deep into this whole thing about how we're controlled, you think about going to school, right?
Yeah.
Starts off when like 6 years
absolutely.
old, 5 years old.
Yeah.
Sit in this chair. If you want to pee, raise your hand. If you want to speak, raise your hand.
And I'll tell you another thing. If I hear the bell, like, now,
yeah,
decades later, I would still get up to move. Like when the period ended in high school.
It's if you really think about the way we're raised, it is ridiculous what we put up with from ourselves.
But
like the whole concept about, like, even go as far as different countries. Like, who decided that there had to be different countries? Why do we not just have one big world?
Or even states. I mean, like,
yeah,
you're in Connecticut, I'm going to be in New Jersey.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Like you're an hour away.
Yeah, we're told by all these people, and we're told you and I get going on that stuff. That's a whole show right there. A couple of shows on. Like,
well, I think that's part of what a lot of people in this country believe. There should be no borders, but look, I don't care. Just let's see who they are first before you let them in. Like, everybody's welcome to my home, but I just want to make sure that you're not going to do anything wrong.
Well, okay, and that's a good point. So now there's the fact that you have to factor in we're paying taxes for certain things in the country. So no, you can't just be giving that away for free to other people. But I mean, the whole concept that we are being told, like we're told that the sun rises and sets. It does not rise and set. It doesn't move. Yeah, there's a lot of things. That's a whole show right there that we get going on.
But we did solve the whole Parkway driveway.
Yes, that's the Parkway driveway thing. The funeral homes. There's another one related to death too. There's funeral homes. There's a parlor too, wasn't there? Maybe that's
where the expression "dead ringer" comes from.
What was it?
Dead ringer.
Yes, you talked about that before. What is it?
So I forget. It might have been England. They were drinking like beer or whatever.
That's right.
Lead mugs, and they would make you like a zombie, and they'd bury you, and you're in a coffin.
Right.
So they would attach a string, so I'm still alive. You're pulling a string, the bell would ring. Oh, we got to dig him out.
It wasn't the other one, the hangover. They used to hang over a rope
in Ireland. Yeah. So when you're too tanked up to go home,
right?
It was like a clothing line where you paid a whatever.
And the other one that we discussed too, the alphabet. There's no reason It has to be in that order. There's no rhyme or reason.
Why is there 7 days in a week? Why not 5? Why not
Right.
12?
Why don't we have 13 months instead of 12 with all the, because if you factor in 20, like 7, if there's 4 weeks in every month,
I think it all goes back to
the lunar. Yeah.
yeah.
So here's the other one for me too, is that like the pyramids.
Yeah.
There's a beings far more intelligent than us millions of years ago. They needed a navigational beacon. So they stopped by for 5 minutes, put this pyramid up there, said, okay, next time we fly by here, we know where we're at.
I mean, it had to be aliens. I mean, look at California. Newsom spent $146 billion for high-speed rail, and they can't even get 1 foot down. Like, how did that even like, what's his explanation? And I'm not picking on him because they all do, but where'd the money go? Like, they haven't laid 1 foot of track down.
See, this is the amazing thing, that they can do things like that now, knowing
Nothing happens.
that because we're just going to move on to the next thing. We won't question it. It's just,
Well, I'm telling you, this whole shooting or attempted shooting, by Wednesday, it'll be another story.
oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
Like,
think about it. Yeah, all the
What we
stuff.
talked about was
We went into Venezuela, arrested the leader of Venezuela, and we were going to take over the country.
Where is he now? Is it like, wait, where?
Yeah.
Is he waiting tables somewhere? What's he
And why was, I thought we needed to, we had to take Greenland. We need it.
Well, there is reasons for that.
Okay, but if we need it so bad, why didn't we take it? Right?
Denmark said no.
Suppose we need it because the Chinese or the Russians were going to bomb us.
Well, yeah, because it's,
Here's another question I have for you. Okay. Upon further research, China supposedly, we don't know for sure, has roughly 500 nuclear weapons.
right.
We have approximately 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you need more than 5? I mean, if you're going to nuke somebody, it's over.
Yeah, I never understood this whole arms race because you reach a point where it doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
you won't get to fire them all off because you'll be dead.
Exactly. So, we've got 5,000 nuclear weapons. By the time we've launched 5 of them, it's either they're dead, we're dead, or we're all dead. So you got like 4,000 more nuclear weapons just sitting there. We're all gone.
Yeah.
We're dead.
No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah,
But we just sit there and go, well, it's important. We have 5,000 nuclear
gotta
weapons.
have them. Gotta have them.
Yeah.
And do you know how many broken arrows? That's when they lose one, or they.
Yeah.
There's one that fell out of a B-52. I think it's in South Carolina. They can't find it. Like, it landed in the ocean. Someone thought it was like silk and it sunk so deep, but it's still there. If it goes off, half the East Coast is gone.
Is that? I didn't know that.
And then in was during when Clinton was president. I read the book. An ICBM went off in a silo, but it hit there's a 30-ton concrete cap.
Right.
Blew it off like it was nothing. And it landed somewhere, and they said it wasn't armed. Had it gone off, Arkansas wouldn't exist right now.
Yeah. We could go on and on with the subject. Okay. Do you realize we have like a $38 trillion debt that at some point, okay, so maybe we should have a bet, like in terms of months. At some point, all of a sudden the debt is going to become an issue again.
Sure, of course.
Right. For no particular reason. They're just going to say, okay, let's talk about the debt again.
We don't talk about it now, but it'll come up.
Right. But it's a terrible thing. The world's going to come to an end, but we'll just decide to talk about it somewhere down the road.
You know, it's like perspective. Right?
Oh man!
That's my father one night. I needed $5 to join something in school. He said $4. I don't carry around $3. I mean, where am I going to come up with $2? Get out of here.
Oh, what else? So we gotta. See, I just think when you really stop and think, what are we doing? Like, why do we? I get it, because we all just get to the point we just got to take care of our own lives.
Sure.
So we don't pay attention to all the stuff all the nonsense that's going on.
One of the things I don't understand about Trump derangement syndrome is this: how whoever it is that has this particular issue, how has their life really changed from when Biden was president to Trump being president?
Well, with any president.
Or any president. It doesn't change. It's
the Trump derangement, I think that's a manufactured thing. I think, it's another diversion. Yeah.
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 I don't know. It's just
they had Biden derangement.
I have a cousin, female. She's really close to my sister. she wouldn't go. She told my sister this a couple years ago, I'm not going to go to the July 4th parade wearing my usual red, white, and blue patriotic dress because I don't want anybody to think I'm MAGA. Like,
But that's a two-way street, though. People, they're the same thing with Biden. Nobody wanted anything to do with Biden because he couldn't find.
no, but what I'm saying, she specifically didn't wear that dress because she didn't want people to think that she was a Trumper.
Yeah, but I think people make a big deal. But that's the same thing with all sides of it, Republicans and Democrats.
Of course, but again, show me where Trump hurt you on the dollar.
Oh, I don't think. But that's the thing. It's a great point. I don't think any of our politicians make a difference at all. Our life does not change. That's why I think our vote means nothing now.
For differing reasons, I'll grant you that. But we had $4 gas under Biden. We have $4 gas now.
Yeah, totally. Nothing changes.
Different reasons, but
yeah, inflation.
I'm still paying $4. That's it.
Inflation goes up and down, whether it's Biden, Obama, Trump.
It's gone up again because, man, I tell you,
yeah,
just Beth and I'm $50 to $70 a day just for one meal, like just buying stuff for the house.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. I think if people really stopped and think with all this arguing about Republicans, Democrats, wherever it is, our life does not change one bit. They don't care about our life. Nope. I don't think anything the politicians do is really focused on let's do what's right for the country and the citizens of the United States. It's based on how do I make my stock portfolio bigger. Like there's the big controversy now. There's that betting service where you can bet on everything.
Yeah,
right?
The military guy got in trouble or something.
Right. So somebody was betting on the fact that.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but yeah.
Right, yeah. But they're saying, well, that's insider trading. The politicians are doing insider trading every day, you ding dongs.
Yeah, they come into office like in debt, and then 3 years later they're worth $30 million or $40 million.
What was it that who said that? Not AOC, but the other one in the posse.
The little Somalian pirate.
Yeah. Didn't her and her husband had to get out of some deal because it looked so bad?
They sold their winery that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they do it so blatantly now that it's so wide open.
Well, I don't know if you remember this guy because it's from like the 30s, but Willie Sutton was a very famous bank robber. And they said to him, why do you rob banks? He goes, that's where the money is. Yeah, that's where they keep all the money.
That's good. Why did you become a politician? That's where the money.
They keep all the money.
Yeah. All right, brother. So people, a lot of fun here. Again, we want you to join in as much as possible. Again, our big mission. Again, we're going to have fun with these podcasts and hopefully pass on some information. But our big mission, Mark and I, is to really help, particularly young people, not limited to that really particularly can't help themselves. So that's going to be our mission. Yep. So we want to be careful. We've learned about how we phrase all this too. But again, it's really a pretty wide-ranging topic about helping young people. So
covers a lot.
And we'll be here every day at every week, 10:30 Monday mornings. Mark will be driving back from beautiful Sandy, Utah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So if you're along the route on Route 80 there. Come out.
So if you're leaving on Friday?
Friday or Saturday. Yeah.
So we may not be doing a show on Monday then because you won't be back.
I'll probably still be on the road. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we may not have
it. Like Charles Corral. Remember that guy on the road?
So I'll probably come on by myself, or maybe I'll find a guest to come on. It won't be like Mark. There's just no way. I mean, it'll be
hard to improve on it.
Right. Yeah. All right, buddy. Have a fantastic week.